The clock is ticking and thousands of seniors across America are about to miss out on something they've been entitled to all along. This Friday marks the absolute final deadline for a payment that could put $5,000 directly into your bank account. But here's the shocking truth that nobody is talking about. Most eligible seniors have no idea this money is even waiting for them. Right now, as you're reading this, government offices are processing the last wave of payments, and if you don't take action within the next few days, your chance to claim this money vanishes forever. This isn't some complicated lottery or a scam that sounds too good to be true. This is real money from a legitimate program designed specifically to help seniors who have been overlooked, underpaid, or simply forgotten by the system. The frustrating part is that the government isn't exactly advertising this opportunity. There are no billboards, no primetime commercials, no door-to-door representatives making sure you know about your eligibility. Instead, millions of seniors are sitting at home completely unaware that they're entitled to this payment, while bureaucrats process paperwork in silence. The question everyone should be asking is simple. Why isn't this information being shared more widely? Why are seniors expected to navigate complex websites and confusing eligibility requirements just to access money that's rightfully theirs? The answer might surprise you, but we'll get to that in a moment. Let's talk about who actually qualifies for this $5,000 payment, because the eligibility criteria are broader than most people realize. If you're over 62 years old and have experienced any financial hardship in the past 3 years, there's a strong chance you're eligible. If you've struggled with rising healthcare costs, prescription medications that drain your fixed income every month, or unexpected expenses that forced you to choose between paying bills and buying groceries, this program was designed with you in mind. The payment isn't just for people living below the poverty line or those receiving specific government benefits. Middle-income seniors who thought they'd never qualify for assistance are discovering they've been eligible all along. Widows and widowers who lost spousal income, retirees whose pension funds didn't stretch as far as expected, and seniors dealing with inflation that's made everything from gas to groceries outrageously expensive are all potentially eligible. Even if you've never applied for government assistance before, even if you've always been self-sufficient and proud of it, this payment could be yours. The program recognizes that the cost of living has skyrocketed while Social Security payments have barely budged, creating a financial crisis for millions of older Americans who did everything right but still find themselves struggling. Here's where things get really interesting and frankly infuriating. The reason this Friday is such a critical deadline has nothing to do with helping seniors and everything to do with bureaucratic budget cycles. Government agencies operate on fiscal calendars that dictate when funds must be distributed or returned to the general treasury. Translation: if they don't get this money into the hands of eligible seniors by Friday, those funds disappear back into the system where they'll be reallocated to other programs or simply absorbed into the massive federal budget. Your $5,000 could end up funding something completely unrelated while you continue struggling to make ends meet. This is exactly what happened last year when hundreds of thousands of seniors missed a similar deadline, and those funds were never redistributed. The government simply moved on, and those seniors lost their opportunity forever. Financial experts who track these programs are sounding the alarm because they've seen this pattern repeat itself year after year. Programs get funded, deadlines get set, information doesn't reach the people who need it most, and then suddenly the opportunity vanishes. It's a cycle that leaves the most vulnerable Americans empty-handed while politicians congratulate themselves on funding assistance programs that never actually reach their intended recipients. The application process itself is another layer of frustration that keeps deserving seniors from getting their money. While government officials claim the process is simple and straightforward, the reality is far different. Seniors are directed to websites that crash during peak hours, phone lines that keep them on hold for literally hours only to disconnect, and paper applications that require documentation many people don't have readily available. Some seniors have reported spending weeks trying to navigate the system, making multiple phone calls, sending duplicate paperwork, and still not receiving confirmation that their application was even received. This is by design. According to some policy analysts who argue that complicated application processes serve as unofficial gatekeepers that reduce the number of people who successfully claim benefits. The more hurdles you place between eligible recipients and their payments, the more money stays in government coffers. It's a cynical system that punishes the very people these programs are supposed to help. And Friday's deadline makes everything exponentially worse because there's no time left for do-overs or corrections. What makes this situation even more urgent is that Friday's payment represents the final distribution from a fund that won't be replenished. Unlike monthly Social Security checks or recurring benefit programs, this is a one-time allocation that's been sitting in a designated account waiting for eligible seniors to claim it. Once Friday passes and the fiscal window closes, that account gets zeroed out and the program officially ends. There's no extension period, no grace window, no second chance next month or next year. Government officials have made it crystal clear in internal memos that were leaked to financial watchdog organizations. This is it, the absolute last opportunity. What's particularly galling is that millions of dollars will likely go unclaimed simply because seniors don't know about the program or can't navigate the application process in time. That money could change lives, pay off medical debt, cover months of prescription costs, fund necessary home repairs, or simply provide a financial cushion that lets seniors sleep at night without worrying about every unexpected expense. Instead, it's going to disappear into the bureaucratic void while the people who need it most continue struggling. The demographics of who's missing out on this payment tell a heartbreaking story. Rural seniors with limited internet access are disproportionately affected because the primary application method is online. Elderly people who aren't comfortable with technology, who don't own smartphones or computers, who rely on landlines and paper statements are essentially locked out of the system. These are often the same people facing the most severe financial challenges because they live in areas with fewer resources, limited public transportation, and healthcare facilities that are miles away. Urban seniors aren't much better off despite having internet access because they're dealing with information overload and sophisticated scams that make them suspicious of legitimate programs. After decades of being warned about fraudsters targeting older Americans, many seniors now assume that any mention of government payments they didn't specifically apply for must be a scam. This defensive skepticism, while understandable, is causing people to dismiss real opportunities and leave money on the table. Seniors who speak English as a second language face additional barriers because application materials aren't always available in multiple languages, and translation services are inadequate or non-existent. The system is failing the most vulnerable populations at every level, and Friday's deadline is about to make that failure permanent for this funding cycle. Financial advisors who work specifically with seniors are desperately trying to spread the word, but they're fighting against time and a massive information gap. They've seen firsthand how much difference $5,000 can make in a senior's life. For someone living on $1,200 or $1,500 a month from Social Security, this payment represents multiple months of financial breathing room. It's the difference between choosing which bills to pay late and actually being current on everything. It's the ability to fix a car that's been broken down for months, restoring independence and mobility. It's dental work that's been postponed for years because Medicare doesn't cover it. It's new glasses, hearing aids, or mobility equipment that insurance won't pay for. It's visiting grandchildren who live across the country, something that seemed financially impossible before. This isn't play money or luxury spending. For most eligible seniors, this $5,000 addresses critical needs that have been going unmet because there simply wasn't enough money to go around. The tragedy is that this money exists, it's allocated, it's approved, and it's just sitting there waiting to be claimed. But the people who need it most are running out of time to access it. The psychology of why seniors don't claim benefits they're entitled to is complex and rooted in generational attitudes about accepting help. Many older Americans grew up during times when asking for assistance carried significant stigma, when self-reliance was considered the ultimate virtue, and when government programs were viewed with suspicion or shame. These deeply ingrained attitudes make it difficult for seniors to pursue benefits even when they desperately need the money. They tell themselves they're not poor enough, that someone else needs it more, that they should be able to handle their finances without help. Pride becomes a prison that keeps them from accessing resources specifically designed for their situation. Adult children who discover their parents qualified for programs but never applied are often shocked to learn how much money was left unclaimed over the years. The cumulative effect of missed opportunities can total tens of thousands of dollars that could have dramatically improved quality of life during retirement years. This is their money, earned through years of work and contribution to society, now being returned when they need it most. The mechanics of how Friday's payment will actually be distributed reveal another layer of complexity that's causing confusion and missed opportunities. Eligible seniors who successfully submitted applications and received approval will see funds deposited directly into their bank accounts if they provided routing information, or they'll receive physical checks mailed to their address of record. The direct deposit option is obviously faster and more secure, but many seniors are hesitant to provide banking information online due to legitimate security concerns. Those waiting for physical checks need to understand that mail delivery times vary significantly, meaning the payment might not arrive until a week or more after Friday's official distribution date. This creates anxiety for people who are counting on this money to cover immediate expenses, and it opens the door for check fraud and theft, particularly in areas where mail security is already a concern. Seniors who've moved recently or who receive mail at P.O. boxes face additional complications because address verification systems might flag their applications for manual review, a process that can take days or weeks to resolve. With Friday being the absolute deadline, anyone whose application is still pending review is essentially in limbo, hoping that bureaucratic processing happens fast enough to meet the cutoff, but having no real way to expedite their case or even confirm its status.